Hello and welcome back to Mystery Tapes, the show that's completely dedicated to unlocking the secrets of mysterious, unlabeled VHS tapes around the globe. I'm your host, Ian McMystery, and I'd like to start today by addressing something that I got wrong in the last video. In episode 1, I went into a bit of detail about what sold as blank VHS tapes are, and I claimed that they got their name because they were tapes that were originally sold completely blank. And while that does describe sold as blank VHS tapes, that's not actually why they have that name. And the real reason, or at least the reason I think to be true currently, is actually pretty interesting. The moniker arose as a solution to a legal problem there was with reselling these tapes after they'd been used. I mean, if you're knowingly selling a tape that has a home recording of a feature film on it, you're basically bootlegging movies, which is illegal. But the people that sell these tapes often don't know what's on them. They probably don't even have VCRs to watch them, and instead of taking the time to completely erase the tapes, they just list them as sold as blank, with the implication being that they're not for watching, they're for recording over, so it doesn't matter what's on them. That makes sense? Now, I can't say with 100% certainty that the name arose because of eBay, but that explanation makes a lot more sense than my initial one. And it's a good reminder to check the comments section of these videos because I often get things wrong on account of how small my brain is. Today we're investigating two VHS tapes from the same box I showed off in episode 1, but I'm not positive that they actually have the same original origin. This box had a lot of similar looking tapes in it that we can probably assume came from Wisconsin like the other Maxell tape did. Did I call them Maxwell tapes in the last episode? I think I called them Maxwell tapes on account of the small brain. This tape here, however, has a completely different look, so who knows where it's from. I really love the cover of this Bassif tape, even if I've never heard of Bassif before in my life. Bassif. The cover boasts fantastic colors and extra quality, so that's exactly what I'm expecting to find. And perhaps the most mysterious element of it all is the label on the spine of the tape. 95 number 8. What could it mean? What could it mean? Probably nothing all that exciting, like it was recorded in 1995, probably.
3, 4, 5, 6. Well, just wrote the second one, number 2.
All right, we open on footage of Mozart's stand-up routine, I think.
Mr. Wallace, isn't this a gorgeous hand?
Absolutely gorgeous.
There's another one like it.
This is like watching some alternate reality SNL. It's very bizarre.
I'm sorry, I cannot play this one alone. It was written for 4 hands, because that way we go through with it a little faster.
And suddenly we're in some theater, a very, very large theater, actually. A truly packed house, all here to see this man's tongue.
It's very difficult to pronounce when you are not brought up in an English-speaking country. To pronounce TH, you have to stick out your tongue, like this.
Okay, so the cynic in me sees an older man in front of an older crowd, and I get a little bit worried that this is gonna be a little bit boring. But let's not judge. The guy's pulling an impressive sized crowd. I'm gonna give him a shot.
Pretty cold over there in the wintertime. We don't stick out anything unless we are certain to get it back in again.
The show seems to be part stand-up, part piano playing, part musical history.
And there must be somebody in the audience who is celebrating their birthday.
This part of the routine was totally lost on me. It's a bit in which he meets the great piano masters in heaven, and they each play Happy Birthday in different styles. And that's it? I'm assuming you need to know a bit about classical pianists to understand the punchline of this one, but I can still appreciate a talented musician. This guy is good. A sidekick is introduced in the next routine, and this is when things really start taking off. Not just stand-up, not just piano playing, but physical comedy as well. This guy does it all. This routine is basically dueling pianists forced to share the same piano, and it's a blast. I mean, it's Bugs Bunny. It's real-life Bugs Bunny. Victor Borge was a Danish comedian and pianist, and there's a reason he's drawing such a big crowd. He started doing his stand-up piano routine around 1930 and continued to perform up until the year 2000, where he died at the age of 91. The guy was a lifetime performer. The beginning of this unlabeled VHS tape is full of Victor Borge routines. It looks like someone maybe recorded their favorite bits from his Then and Now performance. There's the aforementioned stand-up and comedy piano bits, but there's also just segments of Victor massaging the keys. I also really enjoyed some of the flashbacks to his previous performances, which is what the beginning of this tape was, by the way. My favorite flashback was a bit where an opera singer tells Victor to follow him.
Kiss me, my darling. Let's be mine
I may never have heard of Victor Borge before this tape, but you can call me a fan now. His show looked like it was a real treat.
And you can register.
As I suspected, this tape is not from the same VCR as the Wisconsin tape from the previous episode. This one is from Iowa and contains a selection of broadcasts from IPTV, Iowa Public Television.
A resource for Iowa's future, Iowa Public Television.
And while it did include some great public TV bumpers, there unfortunately wasn't any weird local programming on this one. Instead, the mysterious 95 number 8 tape ended up being a collection of documentaries that weren't even necessarily locally produced. The next program on the tape is called Remember When, and it's hosted by Mickey Rooney.
May I ask you something?
No.
This series is all about the good old days of the late 1800s to early 1900s. The style of show reminds me of those old History Channel documentaries, slow-paced, soft music, and steady narration. I used to be horribly bored by these kinds of documentaries. I just could not focus long enough to get drawn in, so it was a bit of a surprise to me when I got lost in watching one of the episodes entitled The Sign on the Road. In the road, the sign by the road.
Remember?
This mini-documentary tells the tale of Burma Shave, a brushless shaving cream famous for a unique advertising campaign that they tried in the 1920s. Roadside advertising, which is arguably a nuisance today, was a revolutionary idea in 1926, and Burma Shave produced tons of roadside signs which, when read in order, produced humorous rhymes, all in an effort to sell the fluffy white facial lubricant. The documentary covers the ad campaign's conception and how the signs swept the nation, but perhaps the most captivating part featured a collector in California with a massive Burma Shave collection. In the documentary, he claims that the collection is not for sale, but I wonder where that collection is today. Did he hold on to it? Is it still worth anything? Anyway, this tape contains a number of Remember When episodes, but I only stuck around for the first one. The second one was about door-to-door salesmen, but if you're a salesman or a salesman enthusiast looking for a documentary about salesmen, then allow me to be a salesman for Salesmen, a documentary from 1969 all about door-to-door Bible salesmen. I haven't watched this one in a while, but I remember it being pretty good. After a few more episodes of Remember When, there's a documentary about Mike Powell, a world record-holding long jumper. Well, world record-holding at the time, at least. Man, I wish athletes still dressed like Fruit of the Loom characters. I almost skipped this documentary entirely because, as shocking as it may seem, I haven't a deep interest in long jumping, but there were a few really cool-looking medical segments.
While the two openings on the left will carry 15% of the body's blood supply to the brain. The two lights at the end of the tunnel lead toward the legs. Blood that makes it all the way to the end of the road, the feet.
No, never mind. I don't like this one anymore. I don't like thinking about my innards too much. They're hidden for a reason, you know? This is, unfortunately, the end of this tape. The last thing I watched was a man talking about having to get his leg amputated, which is just...
The toes had gone totally black, and this thing now was completely involved in gangrene.
Fun. Not the most exciting VHS tape, but that's how it goes sometimes. At least there was Victor and Burma Shave to kind of expand my mind a little bit. Well, that may be all for this tape, but we're not done yet. That was not nearly enough VHS for one sitting for me, so let's go get a tape that looks a bit more similar to the tape that we checked out last time. This one's a Maxell Bronze 6-hour tape. I'm actually using a blank one of these to film this episode on, so let me know how you think it looks. As for the tape we're watching next, we really are going in blind here. Not a single label on the tape. In fact, the only reason I'm thinking it isn't completely blank is because the spools are both half full, which means that at some point, someone, somewhere used this tape for some purpose. Let's find out what the purpose is. Let's find out the purpose.
Eliminated the marriage tax penalty. That helps 300,000 couples in Iowa.
Oh boy, politics. This is a 2002 Senate debate between incumbent Democratic Senator Tom Harkin and Republican Congressman Greg Gansky. I'm not going to sit here and say that I enjoyed watching an Iowa Senate debate from 2002, but it was, at the very least, sporadically interesting.
Perhaps it's time we address the issue of corporate crime or ethics. Now that we seem to be sending Martha Stewart to jail, is there anything more we need to do to clean up the corporate culture?
Yeah, it's pretty much all downhill from here. It's kind of cool to hear such an iconic pop culture moment as though it was current, but I'm just not all that interested in political debate. I did try and give it a shot, though. I'm trying not to just skip things immediately. I gave it a shot.
We've seen a lot of mudslinging from both of you over the last month. Why do you think negative campaigns work? Senator Harkin.
First, I want the record to show one thing, Liz, very clearly. The first negative ads of this campaign were by the allies of my opponent last February.
You know what? You lost your first job in Washington. The Democratic chairman of the committee called your behavior inexcusable.
Congressman Gansky in particular has a lot of negative words about his opponent, but ultimately Harkin would keep his Senate seat and Gansky would return to his practice as a plastic surgeon. If for some insane reason you would like to watch this full debate, I actually found it on C-SPAN's website, so I'll put a link to it in my description if you really want to watch that.
Thank you for joining us.
I lost much of my retirement investment when WorldCom went under.
It's also worth noting that immediately following this debate was a series of attack ads from each of the candidates, along with a few others.
What's the matter with Julie Thomas?
Hey, that's a good point. What is the matter with
Julie Thomas?
The wonderful world of Disney's new season kicks off with Toy Story 2.
The second half of the tape is a recording of Toy Story 2. I remember everyone really liking Toy Story 2, but I wasn't as much of a fan. It was fine, I just don't think I ever really cared about the story or the new characters. I much preferred the original. Lucky for us, this tape does include commercial breaks, so I'm hoping to find a few good ones. Is Campbell still saying good? That's still a thing, right?
This is the grandma hug, the bear hug, the embarrassing hug, and the hug that's just right. A nice warm hug from Campbell's.
Anybody else feel bad for this kid? I hate all of these hugs. Nobody should be hugging me like that.
This is the grandma hug.
Back off, Grandma.
You may even get a hug of your own.
Thanks, Mom.
Find a bowl.
Thanks, Mom. Come on, you did it too.
Thanks, Mom.
Find a bowl full of hugs. What are you having for dinner?
I'm having leftovers.
I'm having whatever I can eat in a trance in front of the refrigerator.
I'm sitting down to tender steak and a Dijon peppercorn and white wine sauce with roasted potatoes, red peppers, and crisp green beans.
Can you imagine if someone actually said that to you about a lean cuisine? Would you be able to trust your hairdresser after something like that? I'd have to get my hair cut somewhere else if someone pulled that nonsense on me. I mean, I don't really get haircuts, but...
Do something good for yourself with new dinner time selections from Stouffer's Lean Cuisine. It's not just lean, it's cuisine.
It's interesting to see how little you actually see food in these TV dinner commercials. It's like 10% of the screen time, maybe. This might as well have been an advertisement for Supercuts.
I love to keep a clean club, but the boys get so rambunctious sometimes. Nice catch! Hence, my new Bissell Pro Heat Protect Beauty. I like this commercial a lot. I think big, buff dude enjoying the softer side of life is always a pretty funny time. It's the only one that thoroughly cleans and provides Scotch Guard protection all in one beautiful machine. Smoothies! Scotch Guard protection. It's cool. That was a pretty great commercial. I always find these carpet cleaning ads to be really effective. Something about seeing that cleaner clean just makes me feel like I got really dirty carpets. You know what I'm saying?
Now clean and protect with Bissell.
It'll put any neatnik in hog heaven.
Bissell, we mean clean.
October is Fire Safety Month. Now's the time to make sure you have enough working smoke detectors in your home. Come to Menards for a great selection by First Alert.
These Menards ads are really starting to grow on me. I really enjoy seeing common household wares, and something about the presentation is just really quaint. I don't know.
On sale starting at $6.96. This dual sensor alarm with remote control silencing is $19.99.
Check out that remote-controlled smoke detector. What do you think I need 6 buttons on that thing for? Am I supposed to dial the fire department on it? What are the other 4 buttons for? A lot of people commented on the last video expressing fondness for the Menards commercials and claim that they still air to this very day and they haven't really changed all that much.
Save big money at Menards.
I'll keep an eye out for more of these as we continue to watch through VHS tapes.
Capitalist blank. 3 little blank. Male chauvinist blank. Where have all the pigs gone? Into the new loaded omelet biscuit at Hardee's.
Oh no. That looks revolting.
It's a lot of bacon, ham, and sausage.
The Kodak EasyShare digital camera and dock. Transfer at the touch of a button.
Oh man, look at that laptop. That is a great laptop.
It's digital photography made simple.
Share the moment, share life.
Men out there, have you done anything special for the special woman in your life lately? Why not print out a picture of yourself and leave it on the bed? That's a memory that'll last a lifetime. You know, there is a 50-50 chance that she is gonna wake up to this and get the wrong idea. This almost looks like a Ransom photo or something. He looks a little dead. Wish I was here, but I'm not, because I'm dead.
So you ready for the science test? That's next week, man. No, it's today. Oh, no.
Need to get ready for your test? Get an iQuest handheld from Quantum Leap.
Oh my God, I want it. When I was a kid, I wanted any piece of technology that had a keyboard on it. I don't care if it was meant to help me study, I needed it.
Just choose your publisher, textbook, and chapter.
Hey, Josh.
Can't talk, I'm studying.
What is the name for the center of an atom?
An iQuest gives you study questions for each chapter of most 5th through 8th grade textbooks.
Nowadays, we just use a mobile app for something like this, but these cartridge-based learning devices definitely had a bit of a moment around this time. In fact, cartridge-based electronics as a whole had a bit of a moment around this time. There were a lot of devices that utilized interchangeable cartridges, and I'm talking beyond your Nintendo consoles. Hit clips are a notable example. They were cartridge-based music players. You'd have to buy Hit clip brand cartridges to listen to a song, and even then, they didn't even have enough space to hold the entire song. It was just a clip, hence the name. I've even got this Tiger electronic Wheel of Fortune game that my sister and I both played a lot as kids. This one is cartridge-based. If you were tired of seeing the same puzzles over and over, you could buy new cartridges that served as expansion packs. I actually still really love this thing. I may or may not have gone off on a cartridge tangent just to talk about it. But back to the iQuest, still really cool, still kind of want it.
That's today, right?
That's next week. It'll help keep you organized. The iQuest handheld, also available with SAT prep.
Brace yourself for the power packed into Listerine pocket pack strips.
Oh man, is this from when they were first introduced? Oh my God, it is. In fact, Time lists it as one of their best inventions of 2002. That's pretty wild.
Each tiny strip kills germs to give you an incredible clean mouth feeling. Cool Mint Listerine pocket packs kill the germs. Feel the clean.
Man, I remember when these things came around, and to call them a hit is a bit of an understatement. I remember everyone carrying these things in their pockets at all times and eating way, way more than you were probably supposed to. And believe it or not, I actually have one of these pocket packs today, so they've really stood the test of time for me.
Hello, I'm Michael Eisner, head of Walt Disney.
In between one of the commercial breaks and Toy Story 2, there was a brief spot featuring Michael Eisner and John Lasseter introducing the brand new A Bug's Land attraction at Disney's California Adventure.
Here's Flick and Francis, and the gentleman without the antenna is from Pixar Animation Studios, the director of A Bug's Life, John.
Leftovers.
I remember watching A Bug's Life a lot. Like a lot, because we had it on tape. I kind of hate it. I'm glad I don't have to watch it again.
Isn't this place awesome? You can play with Flick and his friends as you climb aboard Heimlich's choo-choo train.
It really is a well-produced ad, though. It makes A Bug's Land look pretty fun.
You're 2 years old.
No, I'm not.
And you idolize your big brother.
No, I don't.
Right down to his underwear.
Okay, all right. That's enough.
This, my dear, is what you would call a hot sub at Subway. The hot sweet onion chicken teriyaki sandwich, and you can get peppers, tomato, onion, and olives.
Did you know that teens love Subway? Real teens?
Sauce is what makes the sandwich.
I'm in love with Subway hot sandwiches. Subway, eat fresh.
The sandwiches are too hot, Subway. You're making them too hot. Your sexy hot sandwiches are seducing all of our teens. How is this allowed to air?
I'm in love with Subway hot sandwiches.
Is anyone reporting on this on the news?
A cold night ahead will have details at 10.
Wow, the only news of the day is that it's gonna be cold tonight. The only news of the day is that it's gonna be cold tonight? Simpler times, man.
New scrubbing bubbles are about to bowl you over.
I used to get kind of weirded out by the Scrubbing Bubbles mascot. I still do, honestly. It's like, I just don't understand it. I get that it's a brush on the bottom, but what's the top part supposed to be? And why is he always so excited to clean my pee? It makes me uncomfortable.
Does a woman need to after age?
Does a woman need that many shoes? Does a woman need her own oatmeal?
Is this empowerment? I need a female perspective on this. It doesn't feel like empowerment to me. I don't know that I could ever feel empowered by a bowl of oatmeal, but maybe I'm just being sexist?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
If women want their own oatmeal, I'm not going to stop them. I mean, it looks... it just looks so good.
Nutrition for women, only from Quaker.
No surprise to see Pop Secret running a campaign during the broadcast of a movie. This tape had a number of these commercials on it, and they are incredibly effective. Something about seeing those yellow kernels pop against the blue background really makes me feel like an idiot for not having popcorn right now. Popcorn would be perfect. It also kind of makes me want to go to a Blockbuster, which just makes me sad.
People can shop at Goods with confidence because they know they're getting real value every day. Our prices are great.
Not up and down. What do you suppose that's supposed to mean, not up and down?
Whenever you come, you'll find the same low price on brand names like Thomasville.
Look at how many fake plants are in these shots. I mean, I still love a good fake plant, sure. This might be a little overkill.
I don't think people like sales necessarily, but they love the price that they get when it's on sale. That's what's great about Goods. Ours is on sale every day.
So their prices aren't up and down, they're just down because everything's always on sale, which kind of means that nothing is ever on sale. They just have low prices. I think that's what she was getting at. I don't understand why she couldn't just say everyday low prices. Kind of confusing. I think they over-explained a little bit. The last thing on this tape is an episode of Alias, or a few minutes of one at least.
Who came in?
Agent Bristow works undercover with her father, Jack Bristow.
It ends just a few minutes into the episode, and since the first segment of this tape, the debate, actually started in the middle of the broadcast, whoever was recording this must have only really cared about Toy Story 2 and just caught the beginning and end of the surrounding shows. Well, that's the end of the tapes, but before we go, I've got one more collection of commercials that I've assembled for you in a segment I like to call Musical Chairs. That doesn't make any sense. Musical ads. Musical chads. Musical chads. During the screening of Toy Story 2, there were a few musical advertisements that really sent me on a nostalgia trip. If you were watching TV back in 2002, let me know if you remember any of these.
Mama keeps whites fresh as a new day. Mama keeps colors bright in a new way. Mama gets stains clean with the magic. Mama's got the magic of Clorox.
Well, it's white, that's for sure. This is a commercial for Clorox 2. I kind of forgot that Clorox ever had a sequel, but I did not forget this song. This one's an earworm.
Mama's got the magic. Mama's got the magic. Brand new magic in Clorox 2.
Look at how perfect that pile of laundry is. That is a suspiciously perfect pile of clothing.
And squeezed in the middle. Smack dab in the middle.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Oh man, somebody's gotta remember these. Chips Ahoy did a series of stop-motion commercials featuring this jingle for their Cream Witches, which are kind of like an Oreo sandwich, except they're made out of Chips Ahoy cookies.
Smack dab in the middle.
This commercial may be burned into my memory, but I don't recall ever actually trying a Chips Ahoy Cream Witches. It just doesn't sound very good. Anybody ever try these things? Let me know in the comments if you've tasted these. I'd be interested to know.
You from Chef Boyardee. You kids have the rolling. Pepperoni, lots of cheese, make it ravioli. Please avoid for Chef Boyardee. Check it out.
I did not eat Chef Boyardee. I don't remember liking Chef Boyardee. I was not a Boyardee baby boy, as they were known amongst the school children. But I could listen to this song on repeat, and I probably will.
cheesy ravioli that taste like pepperoni pizza. That's what you get with new pepperoni pizzazzaroli. It's positively pizza-rific.
It's just too catchy, man. I love those, oh boy.
Mama keeps whites, white as the fresh snow. Mama keeps whites, white with a new glow.
Okay, well, I can see why I remembered this one so vividly. They must have really drilled this one into our brains.
Mama gets stains clean with the magic. Mama's got the magic of Clorox bleach. Mama's got the magic. 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 Mama's got the magic of Clorox bleach. Mama's got the magic. Got the magic. Got the magic. Got the magic. Got the...
Well, that's gonna do it for us here at Mystery Tapes. There's no us, it's just me. But before we go, I'd like to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video, Honey. In an age where online shopping is some of the only shopping that we're willing to do, be sure that you're getting the lowest prices with Honey, the free online shopping tool that automatically finds promo codes and applies them to your cart. eBay, GameStop, Target, these are only a few of the over 30,000 online stores at which Honey can save you money. It's easy. When you're at the checkout, just navigate your mouse to the drop-down box and click Apply Coupons. Here we are at Pizza Hut, grabbing a few tasty munches and avoiding the outside world, and Honey finds me $16.96 in savings, a rather catchy sounding amount if I do say so myself. People who have installed Honey using my link have saved over $144,000, and you can join our savings journey too by going to joinhoney.com/brutalmoose and installing Honey for free. That's joinhoney.com/brutalmoose. It only takes a few clicks. That's joinhoney.com/brutalmoose. Well, that's gonna do it for me here at Mystery Tapes. Still doesn't sound right, but I hope you enjoyed the episode. Let me know in the comment section if you have any suggestions for things I could be doing differently, and I hope to see you again next time. Thanks for watching.
Does a woman need her own oatmeal?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.